No, I was just gonna get to how we recently experienced
Gen Z woman
the
demands
Aurora
millennials.
Borealis.
Hello guys, welcome back to the Two Latin Brothers podcast, the podcast where we talk about entertainment and our daily lives. I'm Victor.
And I'm Adrian.
And we're back. We know it's been quite a while.
Too long, some would say.
We have changed a little bit of format, and we hope to be bringing you content bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
So,
we're committing bi-weekly.
Stay tuned for the unraveling of the Two Latin Brothers.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
This time around, we've actually brought a topic. So let me just start with the first one.
All right, bro. Jump right into it. All right.
So there's an article by the Daily Mail. The title is Gen Z Woman Demands Millennials Stop Saying These Out-of-Date Slang Words. Okay.
Okay, look.
Yeah.
I feel like this is an attack on me.
But you're not a millennial.
I feel like one. Okay, that kind of feels like an attack on me. You saying I'm not one, but
You're not one.
I'm technically not one, but I'm also like the cutoff year. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, you're not a cutoff. You're simply not put in the category.
I'm the first Gen Zer.
Yeah.
That sounds
97.
disgusting to say out loud.
Yeah. 97.
All right, go.
That's what happens.
Anyways,
Anyways.
go.
So I'm going to be basically briefly talking about the few different ones, and then there's like a small survey that I'm going to get you to do just to see where you stand. There's a small survey. Yeah. We're kind of doing the survey. Okay, so
Do I get paid for this survey?
No. So
All right.
some of the words Gen Z are doing away with are type beat, which I don't know what that means.
Wait, say it again.
Type beat.
Type beat.
Yeah.
Like type and then beat.
Sure. I don't know what this really means, to be honest with
I'll
you.
be honest with you, I've never heard that one before.
Type B. Okay, so we're using type B.
I've never heard that one.
We're using locked in.
Locked in. I've heard that one.
And we're using Riz.
I don't know what that's about.
That's been blown out of like.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like we're getting to a point now where we're over-defining.
Yeah.
Stop over-defining.
And ate. Like she ate that. He ate that.
That's okay. Sure. Yeah. I don't really see many instances where I would use that, but okay, sure, I accept.
And then there's a list of this is kind of the survey poll.
You already jumped to the survey.
Yeah, we're jumping to the survey poll. There's a few words.
Okay.
That the millennial likes to use.
Okay.
Okay, that the Gen Zs view as starting to age.
Okay,
you know what
sure.
I mean?
All right.
So the first one
Yeah.
is YOLO.
Okay. Whoa, that's high school me.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't say that to me.
Yeah, I mean that's like middle school me.
Okay. Well, different context because different times.
Yeah.
I mean, YOLO had its peak. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that was 2012, 2013. You know, the end of the world was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Never came to fruition, but we all kind of had that. You only get one life mentality after that one. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is. All right.
I mean, and for those who don't know what YOLO means, it means you only live once. I guess
Truer words have never been said.
I guess people were trying to live edgy. You know what I mean?
Look, true words have never been said. So,
I mean, during that time, there was also the going around, what would Jesus do?
oh yeah, no, that was like 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
That was
I
a
feel like
couple
it
years
trickled.
before.
I feel like it trickled.
No, because I feel like that really popped off after like Transformers.
Yeah.
Because you know that one scene where
Yeah.
Sam's talking with his
Yeah.
teacher to get that A's, like,
Yeah.
you know, ask yourself, oh, Jesus,
Oh, Jesus.
I got an A minus. Anyway,
Well, and then the second one is game.
okay, yeah, that's game.
Yeah. See, like
Yeah,
he's trying to make himself sound like a millennial.
no, I'm not. It's just I've used it.
No,
before.
I know. I've
You know
even
what?
used that.
You know
That's
what?
a part of Gen
You know,
Z vocabulary too.
We watched John Wick, and when they got rid of his dog, I'm like, that's it. It's game. Let's get this movie going.
Yeah, I know. And then there's also the word slay. So.
I actually heard this from a kid today. So, sure, I guess. I mean, I don't really know about that because.
I mean, it's
that's a cross generational one.
It's mostly used. I feel like it's mostly used among females.
Yeah, that's literally who I heard say it.
Yeah. So it's like if I use it, it's more of like a form of like making fun of the people who use it as like main vocabulary,
Right, yeah.
but also to kind of hype up that person at the same time.
Have you ever hyped somebody up like that?
Yes, I have actually.
I've never done that.
But it's not really to hype them up. It's more of like to make them laugh.
Okay.
You know what I
All
mean?
right. Sure.
Yeah. And then they got also here on point. Like that's on point.
Yeah, it is on point.
That's on point.
It's on point.
Yeah. And then the last one is vibe.
Vibe. Okay, but vibe is that's like describing people.
Yeah.
Because because let's be real. Like when you talk about like relationships, like what's like friendships or other types of let's not get too deep into that. Actually,
yeah.
that kind of falls into like oh, that guy's vibe is chill, or that like, or we're vibing. Like even in that instance.
I mean, you can vibe in different ways.
I mean,
to each their own.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I think. That's open to interpretation.
There's the ceiling vibe, and then there's the vibe, and then there's the vibe.
There's
for those of you who can't see, I pointed up and then said vibe, and then I just said leaned back vibe, and then I pointed at Adrian and went, well, vibe. So,
it's a load of no, okay, but in all honesty though, yeah, I'd say vibe.
Yeah, vibe.
Yeah, vibe. Okay, but vibe is one of those. When did vibe? I don't even know when vibe started. Like
I don't know.
That was like a little bit before the pandemic happened.
I have no idea.
I want to say that.
So, let's get to the poll here.
Okay, go.
Between the words YOLO, game, slay, on point, and vibe, which one do you mostly use?
Probably vibe.
Vibe?
Yeah, probably vibe.
Vibe. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So the poll between all of these, vibe was the one most selected.
That sounds about right.
Out of a pool of 4,900 people.
4,900 people read this article and voted on this?
So 54% of people say that vibe is more commonly used in their day-to-day life.
I wouldn't say day-to-day. I'd say like maybe like once a week.
It's just the phrase you use most.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends who you're hanging out with.
Yeah, so let's go in order of lowest to highest here.
Okay, here we go.
So game was at 5%. Only got 223 votes.
Yeah, I feel like only fighters can use that word.
Yeah, I guess kind of. Not really though. And then 20%. Oh wait, no. I mean 7%.
Oh, 20%.
Yeah, 7%.
Yeah.
Well, coming in at second last place was Slay.
Really?
Then followed by YOLO, coming in third place.
YOLO in third place.
YOLO in third place, and then On Point at 20%. So number one,
okay, sure.
Vibe. Number two, On Point. Number three, YOLO. Number four, Slay, and then number five,
okay,
game. Yeah,
right.
Fun times. Honestly, I don't even know how this article got like 4.9K people just
I'm gonna be honest
to vote on
it's
it.
all the bots.
Probably, to be honest with you, yeah, it's very interesting though.
Talking about fun times.
Yeah,
a while ago.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you, probably a minute ago.
Okay, a minute.
Not literally a minute.
Okay,
but a while ago.
Okay.
And a lot, not too distant time.
I love how you use slang just now. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Like just there, there. Yeah. Slang is a part of the vocabulary.
Let me just get to the point.
Okay.
Because it's on point. Just double down. No, I was just gonna get to how we recently experienced the Aurora Borealis.
Oh yes, the Aurora Borealis.
Let me just hit on how we actually didn't see it. We slept right through it.
Yeah. I got ready for it. I propped all my gear. I got the camp and everything, and then I didn't do any of that, and I went to bed.
It's just like, and I pulled out my phone, looked at that. I think I should go to bed.
And then because I also didn't inform myself as much as I think I should have. I very quickly did not pay attention to the news. As soon as I wasn't required to pay attention to the news, I stopped paying attention to the news. I took a small hiatus from the news. It's good to be informed, though. I highly recommend it. Find a good source, But yeah, we totally missed it. We totally slept through it.
Okay. So, for those who don't know,
yeah,
I say like in early May. there was a solar storm on the sun.
Okay.
And so the way this kind of works is that there's a whole article. I read a whole article about how this solar storm causes winds, and the winds head towards Earth.
Yep.
And essentially that like influx of like heat and essentially radiation, when it contacts the north and southern pole, it hits the magnetic field. If you don't know what the magnetic field is, Google that, because I'm not going to explain it to you right now. So I'm not a scientist.
Yeah.
Social worker. So it ends up, it causes that. But there was so much this time around. We could see it.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, we're in southern Ontario.
Yeah.
In Canada.
Yeah.
So we're kind of north, but not really north.
We're not the true north you might think of.
Yeah. So
we're too south for that.
So
technically, you could call me a southerner, but not that kind of southerner, if you know what I mean. And that is an attack on southerners either. I just covered my bases here.
Okay, right. Now that we're
Canadian southerners.
Okay. Well. Yeah. Sure. Okay. But what I was gonna get is that how we got to see. Well, people in us could see it, and I mean, I'll be honest with you. I bet you people knew, just because of their Instagram feed. Like, there were so many posts on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
And there were some really cool ones. Like, there was this one where this guy, he's filming.
Yeah.
It's like these like mountains up in Norway.
Yeah.
I think it was Norway. Probably the Netherlands. Somewhere in Europe. This guy was like filming.
Okay, yeah.
And he pans, right? And the sky looks like purple and like green. And then he like pans the camera, and there's some guy like with his arms crossed. And everyone in the comments like, this looks CGI'd.
No, honestly, like, I'm a little disappointed to the fact that like
that you slept through it.
That I slept through it, because I'm not planning to go north anytime soon. You know what I mean?
Okay, look, you never know.
Like, I'm not planning to go free. Like, not unless all expenses paid, and like you're giving me heat and stuff like that.
Heat, yeah.
Like, I'll go, but like I don't. It's not really in my plans.
I mean, you could hit it up in the summertime.
Still not really in my plan to like just go
north.
To go north, yeah.
I've always wanted to go north.
I mean, that's the goal in most films.
Go north.
Go north.
Look, if I go far enough north, eventually I'll go south.
Not unless it's a heist movie. Then you gotta go south.
I always run to Mexico.
Not to Mexico. They can still extradite. But
so Japan.
No, you hit up some islands. You know what I mean?
Some islands.
Some. Anyways,
moving
on. There's been a lot of like space. There's been a lot of space.
There is a lot of space.
Like, there's space between us.
I know.
You know, and I'm not talking about that movie that one time. You know, the space between us. I'm talking about outer space.
Is that about the kid born on Mars?
No, probably.
There's a book?
Yes, there is, actually. You should don't check it out. I mean, check it out. I mean, I'm not sponsored, so do whatever you want.
Not sponsored.
But here's the thing.
Yes.
There's been a lot of things happening in space recently, and I feel like it's not that more things are happening. I feel like it's that we have more information to collect.
Okay, look, I think it has to do with the fact that recently.
Yes.
Okay, maybe not so recently, but a while ago.
I mean, in the science world, I guess it's pretty recent.
Yes,
there isn't that many advancements every single day. I mean, there's advancements, but like, I'm not that smart enough to read the article, so you know.
I was gonna say how I think ever since the James Webb Telescope went up, there's been a lot more space-related news, and then you got Elon over there with SpaceX.
Yeah. Just
uploading clips day and night. That man just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But
that man is rich.
He's trying to leave this planet.
Elon, sponsor me, because I feel like it would cause a lot of things to happen.
Which would be
I mean, I would address every single controversy ever known to mankind just for him.
Just for him.
Just because
he asked.
Just like the whole Twitter to X thing. I'd blow that up again. It'd be trending on Twitter again. I mean X again. Sorry.
Twitter's trending on X.
I'm already. Oh my god.
Hashtag Twitter on X.
Hashtag Twitter on X. That's crazy.
Number one.
You're trying to break the internet. Anyways, there's been a lot of space things, and I got to experience. We kind of got to experience the eclipse. Now, I have my perspective, and you have your perspective. So with what happened in the eclipse with me, was I was at campus actually. I had just worked that morning.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, obviously I work.
No, I was gonna say like at campus, you're a professor.
No, maybe no. One day.
I don't know.
That'd be interesting actually. Anyways, I was doing. I was doing my rounds because I do like streeter content. So like I interview like random people. I film it. So we had just finished up wrapping up our stuff. So like I was going to drop off like a bit of gear and stuff like that in the studio, and one of my buddies walks up to me and goes, "Hey, I found a few of the Eclipse glasses." But previously this day, us driving into work, the sun was so bright.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the sun was super, super bright. We were driving in and he was just like squinting. He's like, you know what, I can't do this. He reached to like the middle compartment and he pulled out some sunglasses. I'm like, wow, someone was prepared. They brought glasses. And he's like, oh, I'm very prepared. The glove compartment. He's like, here's some glasses. And I'm like, wow, he really was prepared for this. Even with the sunglasses, it was so bright. And my buddy has like really bright eyes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so he had like sun refracting in his eyeballs. It was crazy. And we were like, we can't be filming outside. It's way too bright. So then we ended up filming outside with no glasses.
That's probably worse.
It was great. I mean, some great content we got that day. But later on that day, when we were getting closer to the actual eclipse, it was interesting because I had a real college experience.
Explain.
Okay, so you know how in the movies you have like those scenarios where like you're networking with people, you're playing games outside, like.
Oh, you mean like when like the high school shows up for the tour of campus, and they see all of this happening?
Sure. Yeah. Yes. Anyways, so there's a group of like tech guys that get super bored outside because we're just waiting for optimal peak of the iris. You know what I mean? Sure. Even though we kind of didn't get the full 100% where we were.
Yeah. Okay,
so it's kind of like anticlimactic, not gonna lie. But these guys decided to, because there's a building across from us in the courtyard that we were all standing in to see the eclipse. And these guys are like, you know what? Our class is in that building. So what they did was they got a trolley with a TV, like one of those flat screen TVs that like colleges and universities tend to have.
Yeah.
They had one of those trolleys on the second floor, playing Family Guy, waiting for optimal peak. Literally, you could see the Family Guy and Eclipse right above it. Like, it was the likelihood of you looking up by accident way too high. Honestly, health hazard. We still all watch though. Our eyes are completely fine though.
That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had hacky sack running for a bit. Like,
sounds about right.
Like I was meeting new people I've never met before.
Yeah.
And then one of my buddy was just like, hey, someone who doesn't go to this college actually wants to see the eclipse, and he was looking for glasses, and I had grabbed extra pairs because I had my pair that he gave me, and then I went into the studio, grabbed a pair, and then I went walking through the Commons building and got another pair. So I had 3 pairs, one for me, and then another one I cut up from my camera because there was a lot of information saying that it could potentially damage your phone sensor.
Right.
So I made a makeshift little sensor from my own phone, and then my buddy's just like, hey, can I have one of your extra glasses for one of my friends? And I'm like, sure, $5, I don't mind, you know. And then we ended up watching it. It was so anticlimactic because
did your life change?
It was so not life changing because we never even got to see the full thing.
That sounds like a real college experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, also, did you get any photos?
Oh yes, I did. Yeah, I'll probably put one right here, right now.
Great.
Just so you could see that. It's a horrible photo. It's pitch black. You can barely see it. It looks like if I painted a spot on a white canvas.
Okay.
But painted it black and then drew a white spot. So I painted a black spot on
a white canvas.
On a black canvas.
Okay, so you're living that.
Yeah.
All while I'm in the studio.
Yeah.
So okay, so I didn't work that day because they called the PD day. For those who don't know what a PD day is, a day where essentially teachers have to go to work or they do workshops and stuff. It's for the development of teachers for those who don't know, I work at a school, so it's to betterment teachers and stuff like that. So, but because of the eclipse happening, There was a lot of like concerns around whether or not kids they're going outside during recess, look up at the sky.
Yeah.
Because it's like the middle of the day, right? So
Yeah.
kids going outside during lunch, look up at the sky, instantly blinded.
Yeah.
So
not a good thing.
So the schools were like, you know what?
Yeah.
Do we want a lawsuit?
I mean, it was quite an interesting experience because eventually it got to a point where it just got super dark.
Right.
Like super, super dark. And it got kind of freaky because the temperatures changed really quickly. We went from sweating like our pits were stained.
Okay, I don't even know
and then
that.
it went to like we're freezing. You can almost see my breath now.
Right. Okay. So in my case, I was in here
Yeah.
in the studio. I had all the lights off because it was so bright. We have like this huge window on this side, and it was so bright. The natural light in here was like we had the lights like the set lights were on.
Yeah.
And so I'm like working behind the camera, on my computer or some stuff, and then all of a sudden like I'm like I think I was watching like some YouTube video.
Yeah.
And our sister calls. She goes, it's gonna happen any second now. And I go, great, cool, hang up. Suddenly, it got really dark in here,
Yeah.
like super dark. And without thinking, I reached for it because the set lights in here can be turned on with a remote. So I'm looking for the remote. I'm like, wait a second, it's like super dark. What happened? Also, I had the window open.
Yeah.
The breeze blew in. I was like, wow, it's cold. What is this?
Yeah.
And so like, all of this happened like in the lapse of like a minute and 30 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I'm just sitting here like questioning my life choices. I'm like, should I have gotten the glasses?
Yeah, I know. Like, and it was interesting because the reason I say it got freaky was because for those like few minutes, then we started hearing sirens. It started getting dark, and then we started hearing sirens.
Oh, that's terrifying.
So I'm like, so what were these donuts doing? Like suddenly that one guy was just like, oh yeah, oh look at that, oh, and then look down, I can't see. Like it's like it must have been crazy because.
Yeah, I know.
There were incident reports of like people being like, I'm blind now. I crashed my car. I looked at the sun. Who would have thought, who would have thunk it,
Like,
that you could potentially
I think
lose some
I
sight.
think what's really scary is imagine being the first people to live that.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you have no idea,
Oh, yeah.
you think it's over.
Yeah, like this is it. I mean, some people even got biblical. They were like, this is it. This is the second coming. In the blink of an eye, it all goes dark. And then I'm like, wow, you guys really pushing this advertising because on my glasses I have a Bible verse now.
Okay.
Like I'm like, this is some really good promotion.
You're holding it. Is
I'm
this
like,
the Anglican Church?
I'm like, this is kind of false advertising though,
Yeah.
since no one really knows the date. But it was just like interesting how like some people genuinely got scared.
Right. I mean, but there's also a lot of superstitions around that sort of stuff. So
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
there's a lot of lore.
yeah.
Against the eclipse.
Oh, right.
Like don't go out.
Yeah.
The curse of the eclipse.
Right. Don't go out if you're pregnant.
Yeah, that one too.
Mess up your child.
I don't know why I feel like that's blood moon, but it doesn't really matter.
I mean, it has. Okay, look. If I'm being honest,
I mean, there's got to be
that
that one
You know.
sick lady who started her witchcraft and she was like, you know what, this is the optimal time.
You know what? If you know what we're talking about, you know what? It's kind of interesting if you really think about it. The moon is essentially a giant mirror in the sky, and the sun was on the other side of it this time around. So it just essentially what ended up happening is the mirror covered the sun.
Yeah, I know. That's literally all we did.
Yeah, that's all.
I mean, it's not like we did it, but like
you did it.
yeah, it was totally me.
You were up there and you.
That
pushed
was
the
me,
moon.
guys. It was a prank. Just a really, really big prank. April Fool's, gotcha.
Wasn't this in May?
I had to plan it on a different
No,
day.
this was late April.
I had to do it on a different day.
It's like mid-April, so I don't know about that.
I mean, it was like a couple weeks late, but I got you.
So crazy. Anyway, I definitely think it's stuff like that's pretty cool. I think it kind of opens your eyes to like all the like space stuff that happens.
Oh yeah.
Like now, like whenever I see an article about something in the space, I'm intrigued and I'll click on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's there's been so many like experiences
Right.
that have like happened recently for like space and like
Yeah.
even in our lives, and I mean, and that kind of brings me to the Kool-Aid journey that we had actually.
Okay, sure.
This is a big segue. I know.
Last year.
I know. It started last year, but it kind of trickled into this year.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So I kind of got into like this thing that I do with my siblings where I give them $100 budget.
Right.
And we go online and we shop for cheap gadgets and food and snacks that we normally wouldn't get.
Yeah.
And when we shop,
Yeah.
So we did this, and we ordered some Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been craving Kool-Aid for quite some time already before we ordered that.
Yeah.
And it was like some point like mid-November, so like there was like 2 weeks left until December. And we order it. My sister tells me, okay, it says it's going to be here in like roughly 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm like, okay, great. You know, we're waiting. We get closer to the date. I'm like, okay. And then my sister's like, oh, the date was changed. Then she gave me a solid date. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, so we're still progressing.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere.
We're getting somewhere. I'm waiting for my Kool-Aid. And then it's kind of on track for it to come during like the winter like holiday season. So like break time, you know what I mean? So like I'm going to have my Kool-Aid for the break, you know what I mean? Like I'm not going to have classes, stuff like that. My winter break's looking kind of nice. You know, I'm going to have some Kool-Aid. And then my sister texts me, so the Kool-Aid isn't coming. And then I'm like, okay, this is interesting. What happened to my $16.99 that I spent for my Kool-Aid then? I'm like, 'cause I remember that went through.
Yeah.
And then she's like, yeah, I'm going to have to request a refund. They don't got Kool-Aid. And I'm like, how do they not have Kool-Aid? Yeah. I'm like, they advertised Kool-Aid. They stated the amount of units that they had, and they could not bring me my blue raspberry Kool-Aid. I was so disappointed.
Said that.
So disappointed.
Yeah.
And then like, I have to like express the fact how much disappointment I had.
Okay, let me take over.
Yeah.
So basically, he spent the next 2 months bringing up how he didn't have Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So January, February, I want to say like early March.
Yeah.
I walk into a grocery store.
Yeah.
Because I was like early for work or something, and I'm walking to the grocery store. I think I was like looking for ball bars or something like that.
Yeah.
I walk in, and I walk past the juice section. I'm like, oh look, that's Kool-Aid. And then I grab ball bar, walk out. Then I'm like, I probably should have bought that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Then I left, and then I brought it up to you how I found Kool-Aid, and you're like, and you didn't get me any, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it didn't occur to me until after I had left, and then I want to say like early April.
Yeah.
I walked into I was leaving work, and I was leaving work early.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then it hit me, I should go get that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Then I sent you a snap.
Yeah.
Of like all the Kool-Aid boxes.
Yeah.
And you were like,
well, actually, you gave me a phone call.
no, I sent the snap and then I called you.
Oh yeah, you sent the snap and then
I called you and I go, hey, check your Snapchat.
Oh my gosh, my excitement on the other side of that line, like you're like check the Snapchat. I click on it. It was like I saw the Holy Grail or something, like a scene out of a movie. Like this man just found a pot of gold and he's gonna share it with me now.
Anyway, so then I'm like, yo, what flavors do I get?
Yeah.
And then you were like, you gotta get blue raspberry.
You gotta get. It's like the most popular. Honestly, guys,
it was the last one too. When
you
I
guys
was
gotta stop buying. No, actually, don't stop buying. Cause maybe one day they'll sponsor me. But like honestly, the blue raspberry was so difficult to find.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And people are gonna be in the comment section being like, comment down below if you've had the blue raspberry Kool-Aid because it's delicious. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so I grabbed the last box and you go, oh, get some grape too.
Yeah.
So I grabbed grape. And I'm walking. I haven't told you this. I'm going out to the cash register.
Yeah.
And there's like this old lady at the cash, and she's like eyeing me up, like I'm gonna this dumb, like, and she's just like, for the kids. I'm like, absolutely for the kids,
but it's just for us.
And then I paid and walked out. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then anyway, but I think it's interesting how in that sort of situation,
yeah,
just like honestly. I bought the Kool-Aid just because I was tired of hearing you say, but my Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I know. Like I just really wanted Kool-Aid. Like
getting out of hand.
Like it had been so long, like years. And I mean years, because we weren't the types of kids to get juice boxes.
I know, and then
like,
I discovered
drinks.
that it had vitamin C in it.
Yeah, so these things are like vitamins. And then I also started doing a comparison to like other beverages.
Yeah.
And I'd have to drink like 4 of these to make one of those beverages in the sugar content.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I understand why these are promoted for children. Like, you get a little bit of sugar, but not too much sugar.
Yeah.
And you're good.
And you get some vitamins.
Yeah. You get some vitamin.
That was crazy.
Yeah. It's just like also brings back like childhood memories, right?
Yeah, I guess.
It's just like, you know, Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And then you see that little derpy smile, you know, on that little guy in the splash.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was actually something pretty interesting that happened at your school. Now that you mention your school, it was pretty interesting that there was some event or something.
Okay.
'Cause I don't really have the full context here.
All right. So.
But tell me the sand story.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So usually on Thursdays, because this was a Thursday, like a month ago now.
Yeah.
Usually on Thursdays, we have I work in the aftercare school program.
Yeah.
So as soon as school ends, all the kids who don't get picked up right away from school, they're with me.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is on Thursdays, someone else from the community rents out the gym.
Mm-hmm.
So we set up some tables so kids can color and draw or whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And then play some board games. But if that's the case, it'll be like, okay, you know what? We're not gonna set up because I'm gonna have to tear down the set anyway.
Oh yeah.
So no, we're going outside. It's nice out. So we sit in a circle. We do attendance because I have to do attendance anyway.
Yeah.
Walk out. I come back Friday morning.
Yeah.
We never went back in the gym.
Yeah.
Come back Friday morning, and there's a pile of sand in the gym.
In the middle of the gym.
Yeah, like a fairly large pile of sand.
Okay.
And so I'm looking at it like,
where in the world does this come from?
So my follow-up was, okay, someone else used the gym besides me, and I was in the gym maybe 10 minutes with like 40 kids.
Yeah.
So like, it probably wasn't even 40, it was probably like 35 or 32.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this pile of sand like, we didn't even go outside yet, so where'd the sand come from?
Yeah.
Like, literally, if they came from class into the gym, so it's not like they're like walking around bags of sand, so it's like we had just been on like the structure for you to have sand, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, maybe the people who used the gym before me or after me, you know, they went to the structure outside, came back in, sand. Yeah. And then I'm like looking at it, I'm like, I should probably sweep this up.
Yeah.
So I sweep it up, and then I'm like, I'm thinking, because it's like the gym floor is tiled, so that's pretty slippery with sand on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a hazard. I got to get rid of that. Anyway, so a few days go by. And I bring it up to my boss, like, hey, remember that pile of sand? She goes, yeah. I'm like, how did I? She's like, I wouldn't worry about it too much. And then I go, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's still a mystery.
Still a mystery.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so then there's this boy. He's slightly on the spectrum.
Okay.
And I see him outside.
Yeah.
Filling his boots full of sand.
Okay.
Now, when I say boots, I mean rubber boots, because it's been raining lately, so all these kids are wearing rubber boots because it's spring, you know, there's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
But he's handful dumping into his boots.
It's just like scooping.
Yeah, handfuls. And then I'm like, all right, cool. Tell him to stop, and then my boss goes, don't bother. Wasting your time. I'm like, all right, cool. Next day.
Yeah.
Like a week goes by.
Yeah.
And then we're sitting in a circle. Things are going great. And I see this kid emptying out his boots in the gym.
Okay.
And when I say this kid was emptying out his boots, I mean like, you know, like when you pick up a pile of sand, you pour it.
Yeah.
That's what he was essentially doing.
Yeah.
Just like in the gym floor. Like, it's a lot of sand.
Yeah.
And all I'm thinking is, that's where the pile of sand came from.
Yeah.
This guy did this to me.
Because you had to clean it up.
Yeah. I'm like, this is the culprit. And then all I'm thinking about is that, right? And funny enough, I go, did you see? I go to my boss. I go, did you see that guy like pouring out the sand? She goes, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's probably where the pile of sand came from. You know, I'm convinced it's because of him. The sand level in the structure is so low. And I go, what do you mean in the structure? And she goes, well, go outside, I'll show you. And so we walk outside, and there's like you know when there's like that wooden frame around structures.
Yeah.
You know where the sand is. So there's like lines on the thing, and she's like, you see this line right here? I'm like, yeah. Notice how the sand's below it? And I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah. Interesting.
She's like, he's probably taken like half the sand. I've been here 5 years, and this sand's like gone down.
Yeah. This kid's just like scooping up.
He started his own structure.
He was honestly, he was starting his own structure like on a separate location. He was like filling up his boot. And it's just like, you know what? This
it wasn't
is me.
just one boot; it was both boots.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so
what if he just wanted to be taller? You know, he just wanted a boot lift. You know, what if there was that like one girl in the classroom that was just like, you know, he's trying to impress.
He's in grade 1.
Well, it's an interesting. That's an interesting 1-year-old.
He's not 1. He's 6.
It's an interesting. Wow, this is an interesting child.
That's a pretty intense 1-year-old.
It's got to be one genius actually if he's constructing. I mean, like, what was the main goal initially? Like, I'm gonna make a shape, like a castle shape.
Look, I don't ask questions. Like, okay, So all I have is that, right? That's all I have to go off. That's all I got. But I think it's interesting that now I know where the sand came from. But
Yeah.
But in all honesty, like, it's just kind of funny how I came in one morning. It was just like I took a photo of him, like, random pile of sand, sent you the snap. That sort of stuff happens all the time though.
All right. Oh, I can imagine with kids.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Okay,
and like the fact that you like there's just there's like 30 kids that you have to like worry about at a time.
Yeah.
Each one of those guys has their own personal issues.
Oh
and,
yeah.
And they're small people.
Yeah, that's what children are.
And kids are weird. So
you were a child once.
Trust me, I know. There was some pretty messed up kids while I was growing up. Okay, Not saying that they had like a twitch or something, but like
I brought this up to the custodian.
Yeah.
And she's like, maybe I should start paying him to make more of a mess so I keep my job.
I mean, like, go for it.
If you don't know what a custodian is, it's like a janitor.
And that's where we're gonna wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps out a lot. You know, you just click that little share button and you send it to all your friends. You know, it really helps us out.
Because he needs more friends.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for more things coming up. Like I said, every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, we're gonna be uploading one of these, and I hope you guys enjoy. Anyway, take care.
Bye.